this one. JSON model. 1 second. Let me run this app for a second. And okay, before we run, I think we need to add npm install. So why we need npm install? Because app will not preview. As if you want to run this app. So now generally apps are apps are running based on node modules. Earlier on WebID, we don't need node modules. You can directly run that app. But now it is a prerequisite to run any UI5 app on BS. So let's hold on for a couple of seconds. I think once it is done, so we'll have, so already we have node underscore module folder created under this project. Okay, fine. So let me preview this app. Okay, so this project is sample OData model project, right? Okay, this is the project which we created in last session. So generally we added all the features like this list, click and all, everything like edit, everything we have added here. Fine. So for add product also, okay. So functionality, everything is there in place. So now let's deploy this app on ABAP repository, because earlier what we did, we deployed this app on Cloud Foundry. So if I go to SAP BTP login or cockpit, so I can show you that. Let me sign in BTP cockpit. So you can see my screen, right, Arun?
Yes, Avik.
Okay. Okay. Now let me get into the sub account. And here we can just launch the site directory or site manager. Go to instances and subscriptions. And under this, we can see Launchpad service. Now let me launch this. Okay, fine. So this is the site we created on means it's already been created, and we just configured that tile, so which we have running now. So this is the app which we have created in last session and it has been deployed. So let's see that app first of all. So guys, basically in this UI5, right, you can deploy this app on two places. You can deploy this app on cloud, that is Cloud Foundry, or you can deploy this app on ABAP repository. So ABAP repository means your ECC system or your S4HANA system. Okay, so generally now what we will do, so far if we scroll down, so this is the app we deployed in last session. Okay, so this was the app we deployed last session on Cloud Foundry, and it's running here without any issues. So now let's deploy the same app on ABAP repository. Okay, so to deploy the same app on ABAP repository, so first of all, 1 second, I think someone is joining. Okay, so now let me go back now to WebID full stack. Sorry, this BS. And now what I will do, so now this is the app which we want to deploy. Okay, so whenever you want to deploy any app on ABAP repository or ABAP repository especially. So first of all, that destination or that service, whatever that OData service you are using, that should be integrated in your app. Because let's say if that OData service is not available, still it will be deployed, but you should have a connection. Means there should be a destination which is being configured for that backend system. Okay, if that destination is available, then for sure you can deploy this app on on-premise Fury Launchpad without any problem. Now let's see in web app, and let's open the manifest.json file, and let's see how many data sources we have integrated in this. So if you look at the OData sources, so I think we have integrated two different data source. One is the Northwind destination we have integrated, and one is the actual the service that we have created in the last session. So now in this case, so two data sources are available for this app. OK, so now we can also run this app without any problem on Fury Launchpad. So now let's deploy this app on ABAP repository. So to deploy this app on ABAP repository, so first of all, there are few things that we need as a part of deployment. So what are the different things we need? First of all, we need one TR. First of all, we need a transport request. Second thing, we need semantic object. Third thing, we need a package. OK. And fourth thing, we need one customizing TR. So we'll see all this, how where the place and where we can create all these things and how we can assign all these details to this respective app. So first of all, let me log into remote desktop. OK, so now let me log in this SAP GUI or SAP login. So 1 second, I just need to provide the credentials here. So it should be. OK, so first of all, we have to create TR, and after that we need one semantic object. OK, so let me do one thing. So I'm just going to create one notepad file here. OK, so because that information we need to keep on track. So we'll create one notepad file. So first of all, we need to create one transport request. So the transport request you can create in SC01. So SC01 is the T code where you can create your transport request. So the transport request you can create for multiple things, like you can create for customizing request, workbench request, transport of copies and all. But most probably in this session, so we will be using this two type of request, customizing request and workbench request. OK. So generally, what is the basic difference between customizing and the workbench? So whenever you want to deploy the application content, so that application content can be stored or it can be tracked in this in this workbench request. OK, so workbench request generally it is being used to store the application related details, like whatever the files you are storing, that will be tracked in this workbench request. But what about the customizing request? So inside the customizing request, you cannot store application data or information. So you can only store the information like tiles, catalogs, and groups. So whatever the catalogs you're creating, groups you're creating, or roles also you're creating, all that information can be stored, or uh, it can be tracked inside the customizing request. OK, and then why we are tracking all this in request? Because let's say now this is the development environment. Let's say in a future you want to move that application to quality. So how you will move that application from development to quality? So it can be moved with the help of request. OK, for that only we need a TR. So without TR, you cannot move any application to quality or after that production. So the basic requirement is we need one customizing and one workbench request for that. So first of all, we'll create one workbench request, and after that we'll create slowly the semantic object and all. So let me click this create option here, and I'm just going to create a workbench request now. So before I create, let me see whether there are uh, any requests which are still open. So I can see here there are a couple of requests, like this UI5 application TR is there. So I'll do one thing. I'm just going to close this. I'm just going to release this TR. So you can just directly click on that and you can just click on this truck symbol so that respective TR will be released. OK. So sorry, this is not this is just a task that we have been released. And on top of that, this is the main TR. OK, so if I'm going to release this directly, so everything will be released. OK, so now this TR is been released. So 1 second, I think. Okay, so now see it's releasing the final TR. So before we release the main TR, whatever the tasks are created, we can move that task first, and after that we can release the actual parent. Okay, so just giving some couple of warnings, that's fine. So 1 second now, let me go back now. Okay, so now the TR has been released. You can see the status also as a released. Okay, so now let's create a new TR here. So for creating a new TR, so you just have to click on this create request. And after that, you have an option to choose workbench request. So I'm just choosing the workbench because we are inside the workbench now. So now there is a short description you can provide, like you can write it as SAP Fiori UI5 apps here. So this is the description I'm providing to this. And after that, so yeah, so this TR is being created now. Okay, so now if you look at the type of this TR is unclassified. Okay, so we have to make this TR type as a, just click on, first of all, we have to select this TR, the below one, which is unclassified, and just go on top and click on that create request slash task. And there you can see one option, change type. Okay, in that you can just choose a type as development slash correction. Okay, so once you choose the type as a development slash correction, so your TR is ready for deploying or for storing the application related details now. Okay, so that's why we just from unclassified to development correction, we have changed that TR type here. So is it clear? Any questions here, Arun?
No, Avik.
Okay, so this is the TR. Okay, first of all, our TR is this. This is the actual TR that we are going to refer. This is just a task which has been created. But now let's say if you want to provide the details of TR, so this is what the TR we will provide, TR details. So I'm just going to copy that now. So for copying, you can, 1 second, you can just Control Y and you can just copy this. This is the TR that we created now. And let's, where is the notepad? Okay, so this is the TR we have. So now let's go back. Now let's create the package for that. So I'm just going to, for creation of package, you can go to SCAT. And here, if you see already there is one package for storing this apps. So whatever the app you deploy uh, on the on-premise, that is on ECC or on S4HANA system, so that applications will be considered as BSP applications. OK, and those all applications will be under BSP library. And under the BSP library, if you see BSP application, and under the BSP application, all the applications will be located in this place. OK, so generally in this S4 HANA or in this on-premise, we generally call this Fiori apps as BSP applications, business server page. So now in this, if you see, there is one application which has already been stored here. So I think we can just deploy one more app within the same package rather than creating a new package. We can use this existing one. OK, so I'm just going to copy this and I'll store that here. So the package is ZUI5_test. After that, we need a semantic object. So we need a semantic object. I think the semantic object, we can create that later, because when we deploy this app at the time of at the time of tile configuration, then we will create the semantic object. OK, so as of now, we don't need. Now let's deploy this app. So to deploy this app, so first of all, what we need to do, just right click on this project and click on open in terminal. OK, so just right click on that project and open it in terminal. After that, we need to run one command, npx fiori add deploy config. Sorry, this D should be small. OK, so what is the command? So why we are using this npx fiori add deploy config? Because we just need one deployment configuration file. And that deployment configuration file will decide where this app will be deployed, whether it will be deployed on Cloud Foundry or on ABAP repository. So for that, before you deploy any app, first of all, we need a deployment configuration file. So if you see earlier, we have already deployed this app on Cloud Foundry. So that's why we can see this file UI5-deploy.yaml file. So this file will be created when you add this command, when you run this command. OK, if you're running this command, so your deployment configuration file will be created. So if it is not there, it will create. If it is there, so it will update that according to the target that we will choose now for deployment purpose. So if you go to this configuration file, so you will see the basic details like the basic configuration details which are required. OK, so it is just a part of Cloud Foundry. So now we just need to modify this file based on the target that we will choose now, like ABAP. So I'm just going to run this command npx fury add deploy config. Sorry, 1 second. OK, so when you run this command, so here we will it will provide generally two options like ABAP and Cloud Foundry. OK, so now we have already deployed this app on Cloud Foundry. So this time we will choose ABAP. OK, so we are choosing ABAP as an option for that. So I'm just going to choose as a ABAP. And now after that, it's providing which destination to be used. So the destination that we will use is S4 on-premise 1. So this destination I have already configured on Cockpit on Cloud Foundry. It is already there, that destination. And then this destination, it is pointing out to S4 HANA on-premise system on which we will deploy this app now. OK, so this is destination. OK, so for deploying, guys, it's very important that in your web ID usage. So whenever you're configuring any destination on Cockpit, so let's say you want to deploy this app on ABAP. So we need the important properties like dev_ABAP. So this property is required. If this property is missing for this web ID usage, or this value is missing for this web ID usage, then your app will not deploy properly. So this is a prerequisite, first of all. OK, so this all are the standard properties that we have added, and it is must for deployment purpose. So now I'm just going to choose S4 on-premise 1. And after that, it's asking us to provide the name of that UI5 application. So make sure that whatever name you provide, it should be less than or equal to 15 characters. OK, that's the limitations here. And it should be unique, first of all, because whatever the name you will provide, it should be unique across your S4 HANA system. So I'm just going to provide like ZBS underscore UI5, sorry, UI2, or I'm writing this ZBS underscore UI2. So this is what the app name I'm just providing because already I have deployed a couple of apps. So just to add a basic name here. So this is the app name that I'm just going to deploy now, ZBS UI2. Just copy that and store that here, app name. OK, so this is the technical name of app. Now I'm just going to enter. Now it's just providing for deployment configuration. So you can add sample UI5 Fury application. And then it's asking us for the package. So the package that we will use is ZUI5 underscore test. So the package that you just paste that and enter. After that, it's asking us for the transport request. So now for the transport request, whatever the TR we created, we will just provide that TR, and yes, that's it. So just click on enter now. So once it does, so what it will do now, it will update UI5-deploy.yaml file. So we'll see that now, the changes. OK, so it will take here a couple of seconds. So now let me open this UI5.deploy.yaml file. See, So can we see a basic details like the destination, URL, the name, the application related details like the technical name of app, description, package, and transport. So all this information will be available in that UI5-deploy.yaml file. So any questions here, Arun?
No, yes, no.
Okay, fine. Okay, so now so far we have just created the deployment configuration file. So the next step is we have to build this app. Okay, because if you are building, that would be better. You can directly deploy, that's not a problem, but building is must. So I'm just going to run npm run build. So as soon as you run this command, a dist folder will be created. And after that, you can run the command npm run deploy. That's it. So this is the final command that you can run. So automatically this will deploy your app on ABAP repository. So still we have a couple of issues because sometimes your app will not deploy properly. So again we have to retry it. If we try it again, then it will be deployed. So let's try that npm run deploy now. So this is the final command to deploy this app. So before it deploys, it will provide you with the basic details. Like it will just give you the confirmation. So whatever app name or application you're deploying, all these details are correct or not. So that we just need to cross check once. So now at the last, if you see there is a start deployment. So you can just enter capital Y. So your deployment will start. So now it says deploy to ABAP. So it's deploying your app on ABAP repository. Okay, so let's hold on for a couple of seconds here. Let's see whether it deploys or not at a first instance. Okay, so we are getting error. Request failed with status code 502 and deployment failed. It's okay, it will give sometimes. We can try it once again, so hopefully it should be deployed. But let's wait here. Okay, so I think let me run this command once again, npm run deploy. Again, enter capital Y. Okay, can you see now? So what it says in green color, SAP UI5 application has been uploaded and registered successfully. Okay, so this is what the success message you should always receive for this app. So at the last, you will see deployment successful. So our app is successfully deployed on ABAP repository. Okay, that's it. From BS, this is the final step. Now let's see where this app is stored. So whenever you're deploying your app for the first time on ABAP repository, one ICF node will be created. Okay, so that ICF node means it's like a node which is being used to run your app on internet. Because whenever you want to run your app, that ICF node, it should be created because it follows same for OData service as well. Whenever you're registering your OData service, ICF node will be created for that OData service so that you can anyone can access that app in outside world.